Hey there, it's February. This is the second video that I've made as part of my 12-part series documenting my process as me, an artist, foreign artist here in Japan, tries to build up their art practice. This month, in the middle of February, the 15th, it's a Sunday, I'll be going into Roppongi and I'll be giving a presentation to a couple of hundred designers and developers. And it's always a thrill, anxiety-inducing, extremely gratifying and satisfying once it's complete. So every time I do these things, I try to do it a little bit better each time, and I'll be practicing that every day between now and the 15th to give the best possible performance when I go to that Spectrum Festival, it's called, and give that presentation. So that's exciting. That's a big thing. On Sunday, the 1st of February, last Sunday, I sent out the email to subscribers announcing the launch of my Tiny Fables collection, and I offered free shipping to those subscribers. I want to give a shout out in particular to the very first collector, Terry. You know who you are. Thank you so much. I'm just packing this up and I'll send that out to you over to Australia. Really appreciate that. Now that I've sent out that initial email, really important with an email campaign is to follow up with a reminder before the end date of that free shipping coupon. So with one company I worked with in the past, I think it was the reminder emails that went out would generate about 30 to 40% of the overall sales for that campaign. So very important to send that out, so I'll do that. And I will then send out the Japanese version to my Japanese subscriber list as well. Now that I've announced it to my subscribers, they get the first word, and once that's done, it means I can start promoting the collection on Instagram and Pinterest as well. So I'll be working on that in February. So Haguruma Printing now has the files for the book for Tiny Fables, and I can't wait to get my hands on that. And all going well, I'm waiting on a color proof, and once that's approved, they'll print it, deliver it, and fingers crossed I'll have it in time to share with you at the end of this month. I'm about to catch up on a call with Louis Mendo. Louis ran a creative residency in Tokyo called Almost Perfect for 6 or 7 years. It shut down in 2024. At the end of 2024, they moved a little bit out of Tokyo for a change of pace. And it was definitely a loss for a lot of the creative community based here in Tokyo. We would often congregate there at the openings of the artists that were staying at the creative residency when they did their closing show. So I am seriously thinking, and I've been thinking about it for the last 6 months, of starting a creative residency, a new creative residency in my own way here in Tokyo. And I'm hoping, first of all, interested to see what Lewis's reaction is, and then getting some much needed advice from him. But been spending a lot of time researching what kind of council approvals are needed, and all of the minute details that are needed to build up a business and run a business like that. The other thing I'll be doing this month is starting to think about what the 2 new collections for 2026 are going to be. And each year I do 2 collections of 50 artworks. So I need to start thinking about what medium I'm going to work in. Are the collections going to relate in any way to the existing work I've done? Is it going to be something completely new? This is one of the most fun parts of the process, that early stage where anything goes, and looking forward to creating some mood boards and some visuals to share that with you, and perhaps get your feedback, get your input on what you think my next collection should be. Anyway, I'll leave it there, and I'll create some process videos as I go this month, and hopefully capture some of the presentation that I'll give at Spectrum, and catch up again at the end of the month to review what's happened. So it's the 7th of February, it's a Saturday morning. It's very bleak and white outside. However, there's lots of light snow. It's not really falling, it's just kind of swirling around out there. It's very beautiful. What I've been doing this morning is looking at new mediums for the new Ghoul collections this year. There'll be 2 collections of 50 artworks. I need to work out what medium I'm going to work in, and my current train of thought is to continue using the characters that I created for the Tiny Fables collection and use a medium like embroidery, punch needle, or needle felting to use those textures, those fabulous textures that those mediums have to bring those characters to life. Needle felting is also amazing. It's fantastic for character work, making 3D objects without the stigma of plastics and vinyl and things like that. It's much more natural. However, it's very intensive work. You're essentially using a needle to push and compress and distress felt or wool to give it shape. And it would be very challenging, I think, to create 50 artworks this year in needle felting. So I'm thinking maybe I will still do something with needle felting. Maybe it will just be one piece. But it's going to be more practical to do punch needle. I haven't actually experimented with punch needle yet, but I think I can do it. I think I can produce 50 artworks of the Tiny Fable characters using punch needle this year. So essentially what I'm doing now, this is the fun part. I get to build mood boards, put images together, find inspiration, explore, and then once I have a feeling for what I want to do, create a shopping list, hunt around and find all the tools I need, the materials, come back and start experimenting. When we say embroidery, we tend to think about a grandmother sitting in an armchair embroidering some flowers or some ducks on the farm. But I don't let those stereotypes or those preconceived notions of what a medium should be used for hold me back. And if anything, it's a fantastic opportunity, and I think people love to see someone take an old traditional craft or medium and to do it afresh in an unexpected way. And that's exactly what I'm going to try to do with this collection. Spent a lot of time in February on the social media assets for the Tiny Fables launch and show. There's a total of 9 carousels and 9 reels, and each reel tells a little story, starting with the initial illustration created in Procreate on the iPad, and then going to the risograph studio, handsaw press, and the printing, and then the framing and finishing of those pieces. The idea is that in the lead up to the show in April, I'll start boosting the reels to an audience in Tokyo interested in art. And if they tap through to my profile from the reel, they'll see a nice grid of a selection of 9 of the artworks. This was really effective last year for the Magic Carpets show. I had a lot of people come into the gallery and say they found me via the reels on Instagram. So fingers crossed, brings a lot of people into the show in Shimokitazawa. For the artists out there that are trying to build up their email subscriber list, I wanted to show you this little system I made, and I used this at the end of the Spectrum talk I gave. There was a Q&A session, and for anyone that was willing to scan the QR code, there was a dedicated page allowing them to sign up to the mailing list, and they got a free pack of trading cards, Ghoul trading cards. I was able to get about 20 people to sign up to the list doing this, and it's invaluable. I can now contact them whenever I have a new show, collection, or product to share. So it's a Monday today, and I believe it will be the 16th or 17th of February. I'm still half asleep, but yesterday was the day that I gave the presentation at Spectrum Festival, and it was a 20-minute talk followed by a 20-minute question time. And what a great achievement. I feel relieved, of course, that it's over now. There was a lot of adrenaline leading up to it. I've given talks before, but this time I really wanted to focus on not just standing up there and talking, but giving a performance. So I'm moving around the stage, using gestures, interacting with the crowd, getting them to clap or boo or raise their hands, asking them questions, and I'm really happy with how that went. It couldn't have not gone well given the amount of practice that I put into it, and I feel like today will be a reset. So this happens sometimes where, I'm constantly trying to adhere to my to-do lists and productivity, getting stuff done, and it's important to be conscious of when I start feeling like, I'm overloaded. And last night in particular, catatonic is probably a bit dramatic, but I just felt a bit numb. I was relieved I'd finished the talk, but the thought of getting back into the to-do lists on Monday morning today was I just couldn't handle it. And it's important when that happens to jump straight into, not to kind of get negative or cynical and like, what am I doing, etc. It's so important to say, okay, I've been here before. I know what this feels like, and this means that I need to do a reset. And a reset means that today I'm going to go and see a movie with my wife, Masami, and we're going to go and see Send Help, Sam Raimi's latest film, and clean up, water the plants, dust the office, and forget about the to-do lists and just take a day off, do some exercise, and if I can get back into it tomorrow, fantastic. If I need another day, then that's fine too. So I need to definitely reset, and it's important to not get demotivated and kind of get a bit listless and drift, but to say, okay, this day, today, maybe tomorrow as well, take the time you need and just relax. And I've got the colour proof here for the Tiny Fables book. I've assembled the colour proof to get a feel for what it feels like in the hands, and maybe a couple of color tweaks here and there. So I'll think about that, but not today. Not today. Today's for reset and relaxation. One of the last things I did in February was go to Pecha Kucha. So Pecha Kucha is a talk format, and essentially it's 20 seconds per slide for 20 slides. Each talk lasts about 6 minutes. It's a lot of fun. It was my first Pecha Kucha. It just happened to be the 23rd anniversary. It had been running for 23 years, and it's now a format that's used all around the world. It's run or was developed by Mark Dytham and Astrid Klein, and they run an architectural firm in Tokyo. They've designed some of Tokyo's most well-known landmarks, hugely successful. And the reason I went there was not just to see the Pecha Kucha talks for the first time, but to meet with Mark, because Lewis had given me his name. When I caught up with Lewis on a call to talk about my creative residency plan and idea, he said, go and talk to Mark. So it was too busy and too loud at the Pecha Kucha talk to talk about my idea, but I did introduce myself to Mark. I got his card, followed up, and I have a meeting with him in March. So really excited to see what happens there, how that goes, what advice I get from him, and I'll cover that in next month's video. So that was February, and it was a really interesting month. It was great to see that snowfall in the beginning of the month, and I'm looking forward to some warmer weather and the first signs of spring in Japan in March. I'll be capturing some of that. I'll be building up to the launch of the Tiny Fables show in the first week of April, and thinking about the install and the printed promotional material, the book, the Tiny Fables book. I'll have that in another week or so. And of course, the creative residency idea. I'll be talking to people about that and sharing as much of that as I can. And I'll be doing some punch needle embroidery. I need to go and get the materials and start experimenting with that. So there should be some really interesting process videos in March as well. If you want to help, the single biggest thing you could do is go to ghoul.gg and buy an artwork for yourself. I'll leave the video there for now, and I'll talk to you again next month.